The ocean roared, its fury unmatched, as if the very soul of the sea was in turmoil. Waves crashed against the hull of the research vessel, the siren's call, each impact resonating through the ship like the beat of a war drum. Rain lashed down in relentless sheets, blurring the line between sky and sea, creating a seamless canvas of chaos and water. The wind howled like a banshee, tearing at the ship's rigging with a ferocity that seemed almost sentient, as if the storm itself was alive and angry. Inside, Dr. Silas Fitz, renowned marine biologist, stared out at the maelstrom, a strange mix of fear and anticipation churning in his gut. His eyes, usually so calm and analytical, now reflected the storm outside. This storm, one of the worst the North Atlantic had ever seen, was nothing compared to the tempest brewing within him. The external chaos mirrored his internal struggle, a battle between doubt and belief. He was on the brink of proving a lifetime's obsession, the existence of mermaids. This wasn't just a scientific endeavor, it was a personal quest, a journey that had consumed him for decades. Silas wasn't a man easily deterred. His determination was forged in the fires of skepticism and ridicule, yet he pressed on, driven by an unshakable belief in what he had seen. He had dedicated his life to uncovering the ocean's secrets, driven by a childhood encounter that had shaken him to his core. It was a moment that had defined his path, setting him on a course that led to this very storm. He had seen the impossible, a creature of myth and legend, a mermaid. Her image was etched into his memory, a haunting vision that defied logic and reason. She had saved him from drowning, her eyes holding an ancient wisdom that haunted his dreams. Those eyes, so full of knowledge and mystery, had called to him across the years, urging him to find her again. That memory, vivid and undeniable, fueled his current expedition. Every preparation, every sleepless night, every moment of doubt was countered by the clarity of that childhood encounter. He would find her, the mermaid who had saved him, the one who held the key to unlocking the greatest mystery of the deep. This was more than a scientific pursuit, it was a quest for truth, for understanding, and for a connection that transcended the boundaries of human experience. The crew of the Siren's Call shared his determination, though their reasons varied. Some sought fame, others fortune, but all were united by the magnetic pull of the unknown. They battled the storm with a tenacity that matched Silas's own, each wave a challenge to be overcome. Silas pored over ancient maps and nautical charts, searching for any clue that might lead him to the mermaid's lair. The legends were many, but facts were few, and he had to sift through myth and folklore to find the truth. Artifacts and relics from shipwrecks and coastal villages hinted at the existence of mermaids, but none provided the concrete evidence he needed. Yet each piece of the puzzle brought him closer to his goal. In the quiet moments between the storm's fury, Silas reflected on his journey. The sacrifices he had made, the relationships strained or lost, all in the name of a dream that many deemed impossible. But he knew deep in his heart that he was on the right path. The ship navigated treacherous waters, each member of the crew playing their part in this grand adventure. They trusted Silas, believed in his vision, and that belief gave him strength. As he looked out at the stormy horizon, hope flickered in Silas's eyes. The tempest was fierce, but it was also a sign. The ocean was alive, and somewhere within its depths the mermaid awaited. He would find her, and in doing so, he would uncover the truth that had eluded mankind for centuries. Silas's obsession had cost him dearly, more than he could have ever imagined. Years spent chasing shadows on the ocean, following whispers and legends, had driven a wedge between him and his family. He'd become a ghost of the man he once was, consumed by the relentless pursuit of a myth that had taken root in his soul. His wife, weary of the endless pursuit, had left, taking their daughter with her. She could no longer bear the sight of Silas, a man who had become a stranger, lost in his own world of sea and shadows. His colleagues, once supportive, now dismissed him as a crackpot, his reputation in tatters. They whispered behind his back, their words like daggers cutting deep into the remnants of his pride. But Silas clung to his belief, fueled by the memory of that fateful day. It was a memory that haunted him, a spectre that refused to be laid to rest. He had been just a boy playing by the docks when he slipped and fell into the icy water. The chill of the sea had been a shock, a cold embrace that threatened to pull him under. Panic seized him as he sank beneath the waves, the current dragging him further out to sea. He remembered the feeling of helplessness, the water closing over his head, the darkness enveloping him. Then a hand, cool and strong, grasped his arm. It was a lifeline, a beacon of hope in the midst of despair. He looked up into the face of a girl, her skin pale as moonlight, her eyes the color of the deep ocean, her hair a cascade of seaweed green. She was otherworldly, a creature of the sea, and yet there was a kindness in her eyes that he would never forget. She had pulled him to safety, a fleeting smile on her lips before she disappeared back into the depths. It was a moment that had changed his life forever, a moment that had set him on a path of obsession and isolation. That memory, etched into his very being, was his anchor, his obsession, his curse. It was a memory that he could not escape, a memory that had driven him to the brink of madness. He had spent his life searching for her, the girl of the sea, the one who had saved him. He had scoured the oceans, followed every lead, chased every whisper, but she remained elusive, a phantom of the deep. His life had become a series of near misses, of almosts and maybes, but never the certainty he craved. He had sacrificed everything in his quest, his family, his friends, his reputation, all for a glimpse of the girl who had saved him. And yet, despite everything, he could not let go. The memory of her was a part of him, a part of his very soul. It was a memory that haunted him, a memory that drove him, a memory that defined him. Silas was a man lost to the sea, a man consumed by a myth, a man who would never rest until he found her, the girl of the sea. The siren's call cut through the churning waves, its powerful engines battling the storm's fury. The ship, a marvel of modern engineering, was designed to withstand the harshest conditions the ocean could throw at it. As the storm raged on, the crew knew they were in for a long and arduous journey, but their resolve was unshaken. They had a mission, and nothing would deter them from seeing it through. Inside, the crew worked tirelessly, their faces etched with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. The control room was a hive of activity, with each member focused on their tasks. The hum of machinery and the constant chatter over the radios created a symphony of organized chaos. They were navigating through uncharted waters, both literally and figuratively, and the stakes had never been higher. They were the best in the business, hand-picked by Silas for their expertise and their willingness to entertain the possibility, however remote, of finding something truly extraordinary. Silas, the enigmatic leader of the expedition, had spent years researching and planning this voyage. He had a reputation for being relentless in his pursuits, and this mission was no different. The crew trusted him implicitly, knowing that his vision and determination would guide them through the most challenging of circumstances. Days turned into weeks as they scoured the North Atlantic, following a trail of ancient mariner tales and whispered legends. The ocean was vast and unforgiving, but the crew's determination never wavered. They knew that every legend had a kernel of truth, and they were determined to uncover it. The North Atlantic, with its treacherous waters and unpredictable weather, was a formidable adversary, but the crew pressed on, driven by the hope of discovery. They deployed state-of-the-art sonar equipment, their screens filled with the cryptic echoes of the deep. The technology at their disposal was cutting-edge, allowing them to explore depths that had never been seen before. Each ping of the sonar brought them closer to their goal, revealing the hidden secrets of the ocean floor. The crew watched the screens intently, their hearts racing with anticipation as they deciphered the mysterious signals. They sent remotely operated vehicles, ROVs, miles beneath the surface, their cameras capturing the alien beauty of the abyssal plains. The ROVs were their eyes in the deep, providing a window into a world that few had ever seen. The images they transmitted were both mesmerizing and haunting, revealing a landscape that was as beautiful as it was desolate. The crew marveled at the strange creatures and formations that populated the abyss, each new discovery fueling their determination to continue. The pressure was immense, both from the crushing depths and the weight of expectation. The crew knew that they were on the brink of something monumental, and the responsibility weighed heavily on their shoulders. They had come too far to turn back now, and the thought of failure was not an option. The physical and mental strain was palpable, but they drew strength from each other, knowing that they were part of something much larger than themselves. Each passing day brought them closer to the edge of their search grid, closer to the heart of the mystery. The anticipation was electric and the air was thick with tension. They had mapped out their search area meticulously, and every mile they covered brought them closer to their goal. The crew pored over navigation charts, recalibrating their course and making adjustments as needed. They knew that they were on the cusp of a groundbreaking discovery, and the excitement was palpable. The siren's call pressed on, cutting through the waves with unwavering determination as the crew braced themselves for what lay ahead.